Today, I'm going to make a Scratch game in 1 hour to see if making a game in 1 hour is really as hard as they make it seem. Okay, so this took way too long. I spent like 10 minutes on just thinking of an idea. I eventually landed on a space shooter game where you play as an alien shooting astronauts, and that's what this project is going to be about. So, the first thing I did was I started to work on the artwork just so I would have something to look at for the start of the game. I'm just doing the very basic stuff like the weapon and the player. I'm not doing anything like background, enemies, nothing like that. Just player and the weapon. So that's what we're doing right now. Currently, we are working on the player sprite, and I went through a couple ideas, and I ended up landing on a design based off of Narpy. I'll put an image on screen of what Narpy looks like. You probably know what Narpy looks like. Yeah. After that montage, we're on to the gun. So we're basically just gonna go into another montage. Just a very simple, generic ray blaster gun looking spacey. You know what it is. You know. And with that, our ray blaster is ready. Now here, I'm working on making the ray blaster point towards the mouse. Um, Currently, I have it pointing on the tip of it, but you'll see later. I find a much better way to do this. And by later, I mean right now. What I did to improve the laser gun pointing was all I did was I just moved it forward so that it would orbit around the player rather than just kind of spinning on the tip of the gun. And yeah. The immediate first thing I noticed is that since I made the laser gun pointing to the right, if you move the mouse to the left, then the laser gun flips over. And the fix I did for this was I just created a separate costume that is a flipped version of the laser gun, and it just switches to that version when my mouse is on the negative side of the player. Here I'm just messing around with the laser gun a bit, but I realize on the left side the gun is a little too high, so I'm just fixing that over here. Now that we have the laser gun situated, we need to create a bullet for the weapon. Originally, I was gonna do like a generic like laser gun, little line just going through the air, but I eventually actually changed this to a beam, so it fills up the whole screen and it doesn't have to move at all. I just thought it would look a lot better than just a simple bullet like I usually do. At this point in the project, I'm currently coding the bullet so that it will create a clone, and you'll see again, I don't actually make it shoot through the air, instead I just make it spawn. This script is as simple as a if mouse down, spawn a clone. Here's the clip where I already deleted the bullet and I'm currently replacing it with a beam. Yep, there's your beam. There was my beautiful voice right there. Yet another example of my beautiful voice. Here I'm just editing the beam so it's a little bit cleaner, adding a little bit of white in the middle, making it look kind of neon, you know? Okay, this part's really funny to me because I check the timer and I see 30 minutes and I go, oh no, I'm dead. So yeah, I just thought this clip was funny because you can see me frantically moving my mouse around, just freaking out, realizing that I'm low on time. So currently I'm working on the astronaut and these guys are going to be the enemies. So here I'm going to be coding the enemies since I now have art for them. And I realized a problem where if it spawned on top of you or too close to you, you won't have enough time to react, or you might just get hit and it won't be fair. So I set up a system where if it's too close to you, that it doesn't spawn, otherwise, it will spawn. Now here's where I'm doing something that I'm genuinely surprised that I haven't started yet, but I'm currently working on making the character move, which that's astounding that I never thought to do that until now. And this is like a pretty key feature. Like you're gonna want to be able to dodge the enemies, move around the enemies. It just hadn't added it until now, so I just thought that was a little weird for me. Now here's where I'm working on the background, and we will no longer have to be blinded by the bright white of my game. I just decided to go with a basic moon background, gray, craters, the basic. Now here we are with a little checkup on the progress of our game. Currently we have background, player, shooting, enemies, dying enemies, spawning enemies, and I'm just doing a little bit of playtesting, as you'll see here. Now, as you might have noticed, I just added a health bar immediately. I save a lot of the stuff in my Scratch backpack, put a little image on screen, and it's pretty useful for stuff that I don't want to remake every time, and I usually use a lot, like a health bar. Now that we have a custom health bar that updates whenever you take damage, we can move on to the next feature. For the next thing I'm just adding a simple kills counter, just a variable, go up when you get a kill, simple as that. Here's some footage of the kill counter going exactly according to plan. Now here's where I finally make some music for the game because I realized that it felt a little silent, with the only sounds being pews, hurt sounds, death sound, but no actual music. So that's what I'm working on here. Now I have the music finished, and here's a little sample of it. You already heard it during the montage, but you might have forgotten. And now we are finished with our 1 hour game. It is time to see some gameplay. Welcome to Galactic Blaster. Alright guys, thank you for watching me make a game in 1 hour. I hope you guys go play Galactic Blaster, and without further ado, peace out.